Hi, welcome back to a new term. It's lovely and sunny. I'm out in the garden today because I want to show you something that's a little bit gory and a little bit squeamish, and it might make you feel a little bit funny inside, but it's okay because you only have to look, you don't have to touch. So we're going to have a look today at the inside of a heart. Now, before we look at the inside, we're going to have a look at what it actually looks like. So I've got here a heart. Don't worry, my children are safe. It's from a sheep. Bought it from Tesco's. Which you can actually cut them up and eat them just like you would your normal pieces of lamb. Now, this is the heart. So can you see the shape of it? Okay. It's got vessels at the top, which we'll talk about in a minute. And it is one big muscle. Okay. Now, we're going to have a look at the outside of it. We're going to have a look at the inside of it. And we're going to have a think about how our heart is very, very similar to this. Okay. So what we've got here is we've got the front of the heart, which has got here the coronary artery, and this supplies blood to the heart muscle. All the blood that goes to the heart comes through this coronary artery here. Now, what's really important is a muscle, so we've got to keep it strong, got to keep it healthy, got to keep it exercised. Okay, and by doing that, we'll help keeping our hearts healthy. Now, at the top here, as I've just said, we've got 4 vessels. Can you see these 2 here? These are whiter and smaller and a little bit like tubes. Okay, these are our arteries, and they take the blood away from the heart. They've got thicker walls because they're pumping the blood at a really high pressure. So it's got to get all the way to the top of your head and the tip of your toes. Okay, and then on the other side here, can you see these ones, which are much bigger? This is the blood comes to the heart, so it's a lower pressure. Okay, so it's just almost trickling in, maybe not quite trickling, but it's just coming in at a much lower pressure. So they don't need to be as strong and thick walls as the other ones. Okay, so as we know, the job of the heart is to pump blood to the lungs and back to the heart, and then pump the blood and other nutrients around the body. So the blood from the body arrives in the vena cava. Now, the vena cava is one of these 2 arteries here. Okay, it's the top right side of the heart. Okay, and the blood is deoxygenated here, and there's less oxygen in deoxygenated blood, and it takes it, so the blood comes into the vena cava. Now I'm just going to check which one it is, and I have to stick my finger in to find out, because it takes it to the top part of the heart, because this is split into 4 sections. You've got your atriums at the top and your ventricles at the bottom. So I want the blood to go into the right atrium. So if I just put my finger in there, that takes it to I can feel that it takes it into just this top part here. Okay, so this is the vena cava. Okay, it's got deoxygenated blood in, so I'll put it as a blue straw. Okay, and then the blood is, the heart contracts and the blood is taken into the right ventricle at the bottom here, and then here we go, it's still blue because it's still, so the blood goes in here and then it comes out of here, and from here it's going to go to the lungs. Okay, now once it's been to the lungs and it's picked up some oxygen and it's nice and bright red and it's really ready to be used, it then comes into here, the pulmonary vein. Okay, which takes you into the left atrium, which is here. Oh, sorry, the left atrium, yeah. Which then is pumped down into the left ventricle, and then the blood is pumped from here through this, which is the largest artery in our body, and this is the aorta. And from here, the heart gives it a good squeeze, and the blood travels all the way to the rest of our body, from the top of our head to the tip of our toes. So it goes. So we've got it going in and out to the lungs, and in and out to the rest of the body. Then it comes back in here and just cycles and cycles and cycles. So that's the first part of our lesson today. I've got another little bit coming up soon. Hello, now if you're feeling a little bit squeamish, this is the second part. I've had to get Alfie to give me a hand to film this. We'll see how that goes. Now, I'm going to cut up the heart now. So if you remember, we've talked about this. So if you come over here, Alfie, let's film from the top. Okay, so this is our coronary artery. So we're going to cut down here and hopefully we'll be able to see. Oh, feels quite tough. Now, here we go. Now you can see from here the thickness of the wall. Okay. And you can see here there is a valve. Now these are what are called the heartstrings. Okay, and there are some valves here which stop it going from the top to the bottom. You can maybe see it better in this one. Let me just cut down here. And they look, it might be tricky to see, but you can see here, these bits here, and they flap up and down, and they stop me. The blood can go down, but it can't come back up. Okay, now I don't know if you can see very well, but the thickness of the wall on this side is much thicker than the other side, because this is going to the body, so it needs to be stronger, and this is only going to the lungs, so it's not going to go so far, so it's not as thick, the muscle on one side compared to the other. Okay, so I'll just cut all the way down here, and you might be able to see that flap just a little bit. There's the that separates the heart, the two sides, so the blood doesn't mix from one side to the other. And this is where you can see the chambers here, the atrium here, and the ventricle here. And then you've got the flap here, which you can't see brilliantly, but it would go. Can you get there? Can you see? This is where the flap and those heartstrings are what makes it open and close. Okay, now hopefully that has made that a little bit more interesting, but there is a video online that I've put as well, which will help you to see it even better than my cutting up in my garden. I hope you haven't felt too squeamish. I hope it hasn't put you off your dinner, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.